On today's episode, I explore the historic Weeksville Heritage Center and learn all about the first free Black community in the United States. I also speak with a well-known poet and get the inside scoop on a rare field in the fashion industry. All coming up on Getaway for a Day with Allyshia Renee. New York. What can I say except that I love it? Growing up in the South, I was shown a very specific version of this place on television and film. But to my great surprise, after living here for over a decade, I've discovered that there is so much more. My name is Allyshia, and I'm on a quest to show you a totally different side of New York and some hidden gems. So come on and get away with me, even if it's just for a day. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Getaway for a Day with Allyshia Renee. I'm so excited to be out here at Weeksville Heritage Center. When I found out that this place existed in New York, I knew I had to come or I would lose my Southern card. I heard that they have exhibitions out here. They have houses from the first free Black community in the United States out here from the 18th and 19th century. So let's go inside and check it out. And guys, please pay attention. This is a big part of American history, not just Black history, but American history. Let's go. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Getaway for a Day with Allyshia Renee. This episode, being biased, it probably means the most to me out of all that I've done. I'm here at Weeksville Heritage Center in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm here with the President and Executive Director, Tia Howell Harris, paying homage to her father and husband, by the way. And thank you for having me here. I feel overwhelmed.
Thank you for coming.
Okay. So can you tell everyone exactly what Weeksville Heritage Center is and why it's important that people in New York particularly know about this place?
Well, there are two parts to Weeksville, the Weeksville experience.
Okay.
So the first part is historic. We are the custodians of the remnants of a community of free people of color that dates back to 1838. So those remnants are their homes, where they lived, where they worked, where they loved, where they raised their families, where they changed the future. And the other side of the Weeksville experience is today and tomorrow, and that's our cultural arts and education building. This building was built to provide a contemporary lens to that history I just told you about.
I can't believe that. I found out about this place on a particular social media site, which I can't name.
Oh.
And I freaked out. I can't be from Alabama and not know about this place. I brought something to show you.
Please.
This is my great-grandfather. My great-great-grandfather wrote this. I can't place the date. It had to be the early 1900s for a 5-room house they built in Birmingham, Alabama. And I said, this is the place to bring this today. And I wanted you to see it.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And that you have it is even more amazing.
So, and I guess my last question is, what place do you see Weeksville having in the Brooklyn community now? What's the focus of Weeksville to maybe help enhance the community?
So, personally, I think the ancestors are ever present. They're speaking to us all the time. They're speaking through what they left, and their voices can be heard if you are still and listen to them, correct? So, I think that this is sacred ground. I think that you arriving in this place can commune with all the wonderful things that history represented. And if you listen closely, you'll receive the lessons of that history. Okay? So this should be a convenient place. This should be where art organizers and activists and artists and teachers and community members come to convene in a sanctuary, informed and inspired by their ancestors and told how we move forward in this best of times, worst of times.
Alright guys, so we're getting ready to go out to see the original houses from the Weeksville community. And I have here with me the young lady who made this all possible, Stephanie Watts from Philly.
Yes, ma'am.
Lives in Brooklyn.
Yes, ma'am.
But tell me, where'd you go to school?
I went to this little HBCU, historically black college called Clark Atlanta University. Shout out to all my Panthers.
What? HBCU love right here, baby. AMU. Thank you so much for having us here. Now, tell me about what we're about to do now and prepare me for the experience.
Okay, so you talked to Tia already about the history of Weeksville, but now you're going to actually see it. You're going to see the actual historic kind of fly row houses. We're so excited to have these still intact. We have 3 houses from 3 different eras. So it's the 1860s house, the 1900s house, and the 1930s house. Oh, there's some really cool stuff in the 1930s house that you're going to die when you go inside. Really? It's going to be fun.
Okay, am I going to cry?
Probably.
Oh God, okay. All right guys, so let's go. Which house are we starting with first?
We're going to start with the 1860s house.
Okay, have my camera. Can I take pictures?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great.
Yes, you put these on Instagram so people can know that Weeksville is here.
Okay, great. All right, 1860s, here we go. Okay, so we are in the
1860s. 1860s house.
Wow. Just give me a tour. I don't even know where to start. Like,
so I should first just kind of put you in the mindset of like where America was at this time in the 1860s. So slavery was in the process being post abolition. So at the time a lot of black folks are being freed. However, in Weeksville, these people have been freed for at minimum at least 30 years. So that's how long Weeksville has been in existence at this point. So when you think about that, I just want to take you to Weeksville's newspaper. So,
wow.
Yes, Weeksville had its own newspaper called the Freedmen's Torchlight. And besides having just like the regular news, it also was helping people learn how to read.
Oh, wow.
So for any folks that were moving up to Weeksville that could not read, they could look to this and it could help them. Yes, I'm telling you.
Oh.
Tia,
I'm not gonna cry. Like, and look at the out.
Right.
I'm a crybaby. I swear. Yeah. So let's walk. Show me.
Okay, sure.
Mm.
So one of the bedrooms here. So at this time, we have to think about there is no like electricity. There's an outhouse, obviously, that's in the back. I can show you. And people are just farmers. They're artisans at this time. Weeksville is still in its infancy, but still strong. Still a strong community. And so, yeah. Go to the next one. The closet. So then, this is the children's room here.
Oh.
And this is the detail that I love about the bed.
Oh my gosh.
Because it wasn't like they had like mattress pads or you know what I mean, anything like that. So the ingenuity of black people has been forever unmatched.
I mean,
and that's a detail that I really love.
This is why we have to be thankful and remember from whence we came and build upon the legacy. And this is a closet. Oh.
Okay, I can walk you in here. So this room we have some artifacts. Everyone loves these irons.
Look at that. My great grandma had one of those. Oh my God.
Old school. I don't want to claim it too hard.
Right.
And it's like cups. So it's just, a lot of things were found in the dig. And so it's cool that we have so many artifacts. We actually have one artifact that's in the National Museum of African American History and Culture down in DC. So if anyone gets a chance to go, keep your eye out for Weeksville. There's some artifacts in there. Yes, the wash basin.
Oh my God. I know I keep saying this, but you guys know, my great grandmother helped raise me. My sister's in Birmingham, Alabama. And I mean, doggone, yeah, I said it. I mean, doggone, if we didn't have one of these, and I remember this too. Oh man, I'm trying to keep together. I miss my big mama so much. And this probably serves as the kitchen as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess we can go to the next house.
Yes, off to the 1900s house.
All right, let's go, guys. Okay, so now we're at the second house on the Weeksville estate, as I want to call it. What year is this house?
This is the 1900s house, the Johnson family home.
Okay, I'm looking at the Johnson family home, and it looks better than some of the apartments in New York. So, were they a bit wealthy, or?
They were definitely living good in the hood, but they were living good for that time, I should say.
Okay.
And yeah, this is a really nice house.
I mean, look at the stairs, the detail.
I mean, a house.
With
Who do we know lives in a house in New York City?
Not out Long Island.
Some regular folks.
Up in the Bronx. So let's start a tour.
Sure. Okay. So this is the living room.
Wow.
And I love this room so much because I'm so obsessed with this poster here of the distinguished colored men. So, okay, after slavery, I think we're like in Reconstruction time. And at that time, a lot of black men were senators and things like that. And so, you know, you have Pinchback, you have Frederick Douglass, you have Blanche Bruce, whose wife has this amazing look about her. Richard Allen, who is someone that's very important in my hometown, Philadelphia. So I love this poster so much. It's my favorite thing in the house.
Okay, next, let's go. I'm excited to see this house. I know. This is the bedroom.
Yes, this is one of the bedrooms.
Wow.
And so another cool detail, there's one here and there's one here, is the chamber pot. So listen, in the middle of the night, if the spirit is calling you,
Wait a minute.
you just make it happen for yourself.
Okay.
And deal with it in the morning.
But just the number one. Let's just move on.
Another cool detail is the ice box.
Oh.
I love the ice box. Wow.
Look, get in there. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And the other side is the ice box as well?
You know what this is?
Is that for whipping the clothes on the clothesline?
And the rugs and all that.
Ah, see, I didn't forget my southern upbringing. Yes.
So, folks were definitely living southern in New York at this time, so.
Wow, this is beautiful.
Because you know northern folks act like we don't have no southern roots sometimes, so.
Let's go upstairs. Is it a children's room? And what's that?
And so, like, to get your shoes fixed, like if you have a cobbler in the family, that'll sit up here and get your shoes mended.
Oh, and oh my God, these almost look like the beds from college. Remember
Oh,
those twin
those
beds?
twin XLs.
Yes.
Please, another chamber pot.
And this is a closet.
That's actually another room, but that room is currently closed.
Okay. Wow. Oh my gosh. And what does this stairway lead to?
I think that's like an attic.
Okay. What?
Another room.
Who has all this space?
Right?
They really went all out in this house.
Now, how beautiful is this chamber pot, though?
Oh, this must have been the master bedroom.
Wouldn't you want to go with that?
The
Beautiful.
You know, I'm appreciative of being born when I was born. I'm just gonna say that. I mean, this place is big.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Like, look at these rooms. Wow, this is amazing. An extra room, another room. This is bananas. This place is nice. And this is the 1900s.
1900s. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Stephanie, I'm so happy to have discovered this place. So now, we're gonna take me to one last house.
Yes.
Okay, so this is
The 1930s, the Williams family home.
okay. Let's go. 1930s.
And what's cool about this house is the Williams family was still living here when the house was rediscovered in 1968.
Can they just laugh?
Well,
Well, you know.
they didn't just like say, all right, y'all can have it. But it was only one sibling left at that time. I believe she's now moved down south. So. And she actually gave us a lot of oral history as well to kind of help us reconstruct how the house looked growing up. So we did a really good, as good as we could, recreation of her childhood.
Okay.
Now this is the grandma's house right here, right?
Dang, I am about to cry.
See, look, hot cone, what you know?
I know
The
everything
peach.
about this. Girl, we had
That's the good curlers that you put on the.
We had
so-
these and this. My grandma used to press my hair, and every time I go out, she'd go, "Who is ouch?" Oh
They
my.
have the little comb marks on your forehead.
Whoa. one that you would put your
Put the-
foot on.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Pedal, yo.
Oh, bingo. This is so cute.
This is the living room here.
This is wow. Yeah. See what
Yeah,
I'm telling you. You have to have
it.
They call it even though it's not a chiffon, it's the cabinet.
Oh, it is chiffon.
The chiffon. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So the Williams family had 5 children. So it's 2 girls' rooms, and then in the back was the son's room. So 2 daughters in each room.
So room here. Okay.
And then this was another bedroom here.
And this is another girl's room, so they had to go through each other's rooms.
And then this was the son's room. He had his own room since there's only one son.
Wow. And look at the book from back in the day. Oh, of course he got the good view as well.
Just saying.
Just saying.
And then we have a little detail in this closet for you as well.
Oh, really now? A dress. Oh my God.
And look at those
little
tiny
shoes. Okay, now you know, all of us, we have these big hoofs. Who can fit those shoes? My God, people were small back then, but I wonder if she made this dress. That's beautiful. Look at that hat, Dapper Dan.
Yes.
Stephanie, I'm so...
Are you in love with 1930s?
I'm in love with
told
all
you.
of it. I like the second house the best.
The 1900s?
Yeah, I like the 1900s, but thank you so much for
Thank
this.
you.
Thank you for the tour. Thank you for answering my calls, my emails, and what else should we? We're gonna go
Oh
back
my
inside.
God, the houses are so amazing and I feel right at home here. But now it's time to go in and meet up with the very talented author and poet, Mr. J. Ivy.
Okay, so not only did I make it out here in time for their new exhibit, it's also Father's Day weekend. And I feel like Father's Day doesn't get the same type of love that Mother's Day does. So I'm glad this gentleman is here to talk about how he feels about Father's Day. And can you tell us why you're here and what's going on with the book, J. Ivy?
So, Dear Father, it was a poem that I wrote when I was just at a low time in my life. I was just depressed. My father had passed, and a lot of feelings had resurfaced. And one of the things I always tell people is, if you don't deal with your emotions, one day your emotions will deal with you. So when I got to that point, me being a poet and having some amazing people in my life who told me you need to forgive. My mother, she told me your father's a good man, let him rest in peace. And my wife, she was like, you have to break the cycle. You know, you have to stop this legacy of pain that's being passed from one generation to the next. So I wrote the poem, and the book is my story leading up to that poem, and the healing that I got from it, along with poetry intertwined in the story. So you get story, poem, story, poem, story, poem, and that's how the book flows. But it all leads up to Dear Father, poem Dear Father, which was a letter or a poem that I wrote to my dad.
Beautiful. Now you mentioned poetry. You have a background in poetry, like
Yeah, I mean that's me. As you know, I started doing poetry in high school,
okay.
and
Someone mentioned Def Jam.
yes, I did 3 seasons of Def Poetry. A lot of people know me from I was on Kanye's first album, on The College Dropout.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the song.
That's that good. That's
Yeah.
that good stuff.
Yeah, so I did a song with him called Never Let Me Down. It was with Kanye and Jay-Z. Did the poetry on there. I'm the one who gave John Legend the name John Legend.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No.
All right, so I was in the studio with Kanye. We just finished recording my verse for Never Let Me Down, and we listened to the song a million times. He's like, have you heard of this singer named John Stevens? I was like, yeah, been hearing about him in New York because we were in LA recording. So he like, let me play you a song. So he played the song. Song's amazing, blown away. So an hour later, John Stevens comes in the studio. And I was like, what's up, man? I'm Jay Ivy. I'm a poet from Chicago. I was like, I heard your music. I was like, it's amazing. I was like, it sounded like that music from the old school. It sounded like that music my folks used to listen to. I was like, no. I was like, you sound like one of the legends. I was like, you a legend. You're a legend. I said, matter of fact, that's what I'm going to call you from now on. I'm going to call you the legend. So I started calling him John the Legend, John Legend, John Legend. So a couple days later, we're still in the studio. We're in the lounge, like 10, 12 of us. Kanye, Cootie, bunch of folks from Chicago. In walks John Stevens. Everybody shouting him out. Like, John Stevens in the building. John Stevens, John Stevens. And I was like, John Legend. And everybody looked at me, they looked back at him, and they said, "Oh man, you John Legend from now on." So that's how I got the name John Legend.
And you thought you could just skate past that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. All right. As my grandma used to say, you somebody. That's a really cool story.
It was amazing, but it was all, you know, stemming from just not having fear to follow in what it was I was doing, which is poetry. I got a call randomly from my buddy, like, get to LA. Kanye got this song with him and Jay-Z on it. He wanted to put a poet on it. And, you know, I followed my instincts. I wrote. And next thing I know, I'm in that moment. You know?
And all of that stemmed from you writing this, letting go of that pain, that anger. See?
Absolutely.
See?
And I write, you know, so those stories are in the book, Dear Father.
I gotta.
Yeah.
The fact that you could take that pain and that energy and turn it into something positive with good people behind you. Your wife, who you mentioned, see, that's good.
Hey.
You know.
Sorry, Terrain.
Okay. Jay Ivy, thank you so much for this. I'm
Thank you.
like, this is like a good day. That's all I have to say. A good day.
I
So
appreciate it.
congratulations, good luck. You have one of these in the back of your car that I
Yeah.
could buy.
Oh yeah, I got them in the trunk. Holla at me. If not, if you can't find the trunk, they in stores.
They got
online.
Google. We got Google.
Yeah,
we got
Google. Yeah.
We got Google. We can say that.
Yeah, hit my website. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go to the art exhibit.
All right,
the
let's
fashion
go.
exhibit. All
Yes,
right.
let's do it.
Thank
Hey. Peace.
Peace. Okay, so we have come upon one of my favorite aspects of Weeksville. They always have different exhibits, and the most current exhibit is Fashioning the Women of Weeksville, and I'm here with the lovely curators. Look at them. Just look at them. So please introduce yourselves and tell us about this fabulous exhibit.
My name is Noelle Corbin, and I am Natalia Mills-Arena. In our exhibition, it's a fashion exhibition that highlights some of the pieces from the Weeksville archive. There are about 17 objects, 15 of which are from our archive, and they kind of tell a story about the women who once lived here in Weeksville around the turn of the century into the early 20th century.
Now, were these clothes designed by someone and they were created, or are they from that era? Like,
now, the ones that we have two that are on exhibition that were inspired from the history of Weeksville. So they were made. This was made last year in 2016.
okay.
And as well, I think our other pieces actually the same year. But those were based off of research in the archive with the history.
And the rest of the pieces, were they collected from people back in that era, or?
So Weeksville was rediscovered in 1968, and during that time they collected oral history and different objects and quite a few textile pieces. The only problem with that is we don't have a whole lot of information, so there's ongoing research on exactly who donated it, and exactly what year it's from, or who made it. But at the same time, it kind of speaks to this general aspect of continued research in African American history and where pieces are missing. But it's a really interesting collection.
How did you pick the pieces, and who wore these pieces?
Well, this was a recreation for a play, so this is not actually an original piece. It was redone by students, and it was done. And this is a replication of the newspaper that Weeksville actually published. So these are like the text from the newspaper.
And you guys would be interested in selling, or maybe
We can give you the information for the designer.
Oh, okay, because you know, I'm just putting this out there. Maybe you should have Weeksville fashion. I would definitely buy a newspaper dress.
I like
with
that.
the-
Okay.
Think about it.
Something about it. It's a nice apron.
Okay, so ladies, I want to thank you for putting this together. Thank you for speaking with me. I've really enjoyed Weeksville. Everything you guys are doing out here is fabulous. And I think more people should find out about this place. It is, and I love your look. So I ran into this young lady, Christine McPartland, the conservators. Yes, my memory guys, help me out here. Conservative for the Harriet Evan Lane wedding dress. Yes. So please tell us about this dress.
So the lace parts that you see are actually cotton. So it's a cotton lace, so it's actually nice and sturdy. That's held up pretty well. Thank goodness. And the rest of it, the kind of gauzy fabric, is It's a silk cotton blend. So I don't know how much I can get into the structure of textiles right now. But basically, the threads that are going this way are cotton, and the threads that are going this way are silk. And the problem is that the silk hasn't pulled a tell over time, so that's what breaks. So it was a lot of just straight, like vertical tears that basically I just had to go in and basically stitch by hand. So it's a combination of hand stitching as well as some adhesive treatment strips. So it was kind of working with the time and what's best for the dress, and so it's a lot of research and testing and things like that. So it's exciting.
I'm just blown away that there are people who have cool jobs like this. So I'm assuming this isn't the only piece. You do this for a living for different pieces?
Well, I do certain contract work. So I'm still actually, this is my senior thesis for my master's degree that I have from Fashion Institute of Technology in fashion history with a concentration in textile conservation. And so
you have a job like that. Like, I'm sorry.
We're out there, I promise. We are out there.
I love hearing that. Who gets to have that job? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just had such a love of fashion history, so I found this graduate program, and that's when I was introduced to textile conservation. And there was just something about being able to take test fibers, look under the microscope, and know what it is, and know how to clean things and treat things and mount things for exhibition or for storage and different things like that. Like think of the Costume Institute on a much smaller scale.
But see, people, okay, if you have children that are interested in fashion, this young lady just gave you another field for them to go into. That's very interesting.
Fashion is a huge world. You can do so much, whether it's the designing or the business or the hands-on creation or the history or the preservation. Plenty of options. Plenty of options.
Thank you so much for speaking with me. I can't think of another word to use but cool. It's so cool.
I hope I'm cool.
Well, no, this is cool. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Today was so nice, and believe it or not, I felt really at home in those houses. To be able to discover this piece of history and to lay my hands on it, place my feet upon it, it was overwhelming. I only wish that my big mama was here to see this. I hope she's looking down from above and smiling at this moment, and I hope that I'm making her proud. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's trip, and join me next time on Getaway for a Day with Allyshia Renee. Bye, y'all.